hello, and welcome to the playoffs, my fellow football Americans, and to the analytics enthusiasts out there, with all due respect, please put the abacus down for a second and listen up here. I get it. Some people love math. A lot of us grew up with Good Will Hunting and The Beautiful Mind Guy as Oscar-winning action heroes. But small sample sizes be damned, of course, postseason QB wins are a real stat. You remember in Fight Club when Tyler Durden makes the other Tyler Durden embrace the pain instead of trying to wash it away? That's the NFL playoffs. The analytics peeps insist the performances of quarterbacks in the most critical moments of their careers don't much matter when it comes to determining who the best QBs in the QB league are. But then what metrics are we using if not QB wins in the big games? Their stats? Well, Kerry Collins has more career passing yards than Joe Montana. Matt Schaub has a better passer rating than Roger Staubach. I don't want to live in a world that says Emmitt Smith is better than Walter Payton because Emmitt had more rushing yards. Now listen, I know no one thinks Trent Dilfer is better than Dan Marino, but I'll bet you Marino would rather have had Eli Manning's career. Likewise, Eli Manning wasn't better than Tom Brady, but winning when it matters most does matter. Is it the number one thing? I don't know, but it's way up there. The guy who gets paid 10 or 20 times more than most of his teammates is more important to winning, and if he loses, he'll get most of the blame. Sam Darnold knows what I'm talking about. Silly me, I assumed the ultimate point of every NFL season was to win it all, and therefore winning postseason games is actually a terrific measure of an NFL QB's greatness. In my defense, I've been brainwashed by Vince Lombardi, you know, the trophy guy, who said winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. But you know, maybe the math dorks are right. Maybe we should just end the season around the holidays. Why bother with the playoffs and cold weather and heightened competition and the winner takes all standard? Who needs all that drama, am I right? I like when the mathies insist you can't count rings as a measure of one's greatness. But here's the thing. Yes, I can. Listen, the inconvenient truth is this. The majority of Lombardis are won by the teams with the best QBs. Here's the rub so long as the NFL's brain trust continues its practice of awarding only one Lombardi per year. The math doesn't allow for every good QB to win one. And that's what makes it good. The pressure of singular moments. The guys who do win them are the ones who become enduring legends. Wring your hands all you want, but this is how recorded history works. Of course, there are other factors, but these are footnotes to the main plot. Whatever happens in the playoffs, the great QBs are still going to be great. But when the debate is best ever, rings count. The titles are history's markers. They are everything. I know ignoring reality is all the rage these days, but this isn't about how you feel. It's about who wins, aka the only thing. Let's start the playoffs. Let's start the show. Yes, hi and hello. Welcome to the Wild Card Round. Welcome to Football America. We're presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours for 14 fan bases at least. These are the good times. Join us throughout this playoff ride. Subscribe. Spread the good word, would you? Download, listen, experience wherever you find your podcasts and on YouTube, Football America, plus Geoff Schwartz, and Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You, also available on that YouTube page, Football America. Speaking of Geoff Schwartz, he's jumping in to help us make the wild card round picks. He'll be with us in just a second. In the meantime, it's episode 41. Mike McDaniel is now out in Miami. That makes what? 8 available head coaching gigs at the time of this recording. Maybe by the time you're listening to it, 1 or more of those has been filled by the guy or guys who got rejected from one NFL town and have now landed in another to play hero/savior there. Quickly, Gino and Mike and Gino Fuentes, how are you? I hope you're ready for the playoffs, both NFL and college, the U getting ready at the time of this recording for their Final Four game. But first, number 41, I'll just tell them to you real quick. Alvin Kamara wore it well, probably best even among NFL players. Brian Piccolo, star of Brian's song. Eugene Robinson, I think he was NFL Man of the Year. And then he got picked up on the eve of the Super Bowl for soliciting a prostitute. Tom Seaver wore number 41. Dirk Nowitzki, Glenn Rice, Wes Unseld. NBA probably wore the number best out of everybody. Meantime, like I say, Gino and Mike and Gino, how are you and how is everybody down there in Miami with the news about Mike McDaniel? I gather excited is the answer.
Well, yeah, we all kind of knew this was coming. I mean, well, maybe we're
not really. I mean, I felt like on Monday he's saying he's part of the GM search.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
And then the list of candidates were all guys that you thought
were connected to him, like 49ers guys and guys he worked with wherever. It's not really shocking, but I don't know. It's like a weird in between for me. At least.
The John Harbaugh thing seems to throw this in a
threw
whole
everything
new
up.
direction.
Yeah.
I don't get exactly why all of these teams are falling all over themselves to get John Harbaugh, who had Lamar Jackson. Consider, I did a list a few months ago of the greatest duos in sports history to never win a title together. Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani are way up there. Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell are way up there. Connor McJesus and Leon Draisaitl. I think you now can rightly add Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry never getting to a Super Bowl together. What, the first or second best running back in the sport, at worst the third best quarterback in the sport? They never went to a Super Bowl together, or haven't yet. We'll see if the new head coach there makes any sense. It does feel a lot like musical chairs is what's going down with these teams. It does feel like McDaniel's going to land in one of those available spots.
He's going to be an awesome offensive coordinator wherever he goes. I mean, he made a lot of players on that offense have like the best seasons of their career. Tyreek, Waddle, Darren Waller was way better here than he was in New York. Aaron Brewer became an all-star center.
Yeah, I said it out here earlier. I mean, the Detroit Lions looks like a nice spot for him. And also now they just ousted the offensive coordinator and right up the road here in Tampa Bay. You know, Baker might still have it. You know, like he has his running game guru thing. Bucky Irving's still a good back. Rashad White, not a bad receiving back out of the backfield. Like, I don't think the Mike McDaniel chapter is definitely not closed. I just read that he had a postseason meeting with Stephen Ross, and just based off that meeting, Stephen Ross said, "You're done here." So what did he do in that meeting? What did he say in that meeting?
Troy Aikman, though, is involved. Yeah. Maybe Troy Aikman had some sway, and maybe we're not hearing all of those details. Either way, I'm still coming down as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'm still coming down from Cloud 9 from the Sunday night game, maybe the most consequential regular season game the NFL has seen, and it sort of makes a nice little circle about the opponent that they're about to face on Monday Night Football / playoff game, the Houston Texans. The Ravens and Steelers resulted almost literally in, because of Tyler Loop missing that kick, John Harbaugh getting fired. And I know people are being a little simple-minded about it. You say, oh, it just came down to one kick. No, it's the accumulation of all the years running up to it and the season and missing the playoffs and making some decisions within those 4 quarters, and it all amounted to that one kick, and the kid missed it, and so Harbaugh is out. I don't think Mike Tomlin would have gotten fired had the Steelers lost that game, but I do continue to say, and I mean, if they lose to the Texans, and even if they beat the Texans, it is still in play that maybe Mike Tomlin doesn't get an extension to his contract, and this is his last season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The talk about the broadcast booth probably ain't going to happen, but I could see him bouncing to the Giants or to the Raiders, or I don't know. I mean, shame the devil if he went to the Browns or to the Ravens. That would be funny stuff. But either way, the most consequential game up until this point in the last 3 or 4 years was maybe when Davis Mills and the Houston Texans won that game. They rallied to win the game and gave themselves C.J. Stroud instead of Bryce Young, and I think they're happy with that decision. I think ultimately the Carolina Panthers are happy to have Bryce Young. You guys, obviously, I don't know if you were paying attention, but I was flapping my gums before I said hello to either one of you about the singular moments of these playoffs. Do you buy what I'm attempting to lay down when I say that I think that Dan Marino would rather have had Eli Manning's career? What do you guys say? Whose career would you guys rather have had?
Oh, I'll take Eli Manning's career. You got the whole football family thing going for you. You beat Tom Brady twice.
But that's a life thing. That's not a career thing.
I mean,
having a football family. I mean, the Marino thing.
Yeah, forget the family crap. Like, I don't know what Gino's doing.
Super Bowl or no Super Bowl, Dan Marino is still considered one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah,
He's
but
the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Do you know how much he hates hearing the fact that he never won a Super Bowl? To beat Tom Brady twice, I think he'd rather take
Eli
that.
Manning. Eli Manning. He basically had 2 seasons. Just happened to get the Super Bowl win, both beating Tom Brady twice. Okay, cool. I don't know. I think being known as a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever do it, like is Eli Manning considered like a New York Giants icon? Like is he
Sure.
Really? You think
He
so?
should be.
I mean, I think people think Strahan is more of like the one that he won is more of a thing, I
You
don't
heard
know.
what Gino said. If you needed the reminder, he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl
twice.
He didn't do it one time.
No, I get it.
He did it. He's 2-0 against the GOAT in the biggest game. I mean, he's
sport.
obviously got to get into the Hall of Fame. This is a ludicrous rolling discussion about whether or not he's a Hall of Famer. But I do think that if you hooked him up to a lie detector, Dan Marino can know deep in his balls, I know I'm better than Eli Manning. I think Peyton and Archie and Eli himself knows that Dan Marino was better than Eli was. I still think that they all, including Dan Marino, would rather have had Eli's career. He won twice. Maybe if you fluke your way to one, you make a case. I'd still rather have all of my achievements. But he won 2 Super Bowls. I think I would
Lie detector.
rather be Eli.
Lie detector for you right now. Arthur Smith or Mike McDaniel is your offensive coordinator?
Mike McDaniel. I like Mike McDaniel.
That didn't take long at all.
I don't quibble about that.
I have no problem admitting it.
I think I've been nothing but a straight shooter with you
That's
about
true.
these Pittsburgh Steelers. But in the moment, in that fourth quarter, Dave was all the way in. I loved what I saw in the fourth. I mean, these are, like I say, these are unironically or other. This is what it's all about. These are the good times. We've made it. Enjoy it. Lean into it. Yes, big pressure. Don't be one of these people talking about like, listen, whatever happens here. Did you see his passer rating in October? Is not a conversation that anybody wants to hear. These moments are what it's all about. Let's get Geoff Schwartz in here and cut to the chase and start picking these games, shall we?
In sports, championships aren't won alone. They're won with the right people around you. That's exactly what Intuit TurboTax brings to taxes. With TurboTax Expert Full Service, match with a dedicated tax expert who handles your taxes from start to finish. The experience is seamless. Start in person, finish online, move between both whenever needed. The dedicated tax expert keeps things updated every step of the way so nothing falls between the cracks. Think of it like having a great head coach with a solid game plan. The plays are called, adjustments are made, and the work gets done while everyone stays focused on what actually matters. And just like game film doesn't wait for business hours, neither do taxes. With TurboTax Expert Full Service, you can get any tax question answered at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. This is having someone in your corner running the whole operation and helping put points on the board. Get started at TurboTax.com. Only available with Intuit TurboTax Full Service experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
All right, no more jive. It's time to focus in on the main event here. 6 games total, that's it. We usually try to focus in on the most consequential games in the NFL weekend. They're all consequential. These are playoff games after all. In a pinch, he's jumping in. That's why he's our main man here. We had our guy Kevin Hench ready to go, but he's got some stuff going on the side. We gave him a call last second. Even it's later than 11:59. It's like 11:59 and 58 seconds, but he's here to jump in. He's the host of Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You, and it's Geoff Schwartz. What's the poop, fella? How you doing? How you feeling?
I am good. I'm excited to talk to you. We have your Steelers in the playoffs. We have your Hoosiers in the playoffs. I mean, first time ever, right? A double duo Steelers Hoosiers playoff weekend.
I think literally there wouldn't be any historical comp there. All right, listen. Let's save the college football talk for the back end here, because by the time most listeners hear us talking about it, they'll probably already know the results of at least one of those 2 games, maybe both of them. Let's focus in, like I say, on the wild card round in the NFL playoffs. Start us off, Geoff Schwartz, real quick, with who you think is going to be participating in Super Bowl 60. I'm already on the record, by the way. Broncos, Eagles, 17-1 at last check.
Oh, man. I think the Rams are winning the NFC. That's the one I feel strong, the position I feel strongest about. They've got to finish games better. It's been a bugaboo of theirs this season. They have not looked terribly good the last couple of weeks, but maybe just end of season fatigue. We'll see. They have the easiest game this weekend, which is important. The AFC, Dave, I've wanted it to be the Broncos for weeks. I've talked about them being the team. That bye is so important. It's so huge. One less game. They win one game, and they're in the AFC Championship game, right? Like, it's that simple for them. Mm-hmm. The problem is I just continue to not trust Bo Nix. I can't do it. And I can't believe I'm saying this team, but I think Jacksonville might be the best team in the AFC. And you have to basically go against all history of the National Football League to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars. But defensively, they're really good on defense. Trevor Lawrence has turned the ball over one time in the last 6 weeks, started to run the ball a little bit more now. So I think they beat Buffalo this weekend. They could end up hosting the AFC Championship game, which is certainly possible the way this breaks out, because AFC to me is very coin flippy in every game. So I will go Jacksonville. I'll go the Rams.
Join me, Jeff. Join me. Venga.
Let's go.
The Jags. Venga. Come with me. I hated them all year. Now I have them in the AFC Championship as well.
It's pronounced, Mike, I don't know if you know this, but it's pronounced Benga. The V is like a B.
Yeah, I was just making that joke to Gino, and I was like, should I even say this? It like kind of connotes Pablo Escobar. I don't know if you want to be saying that around, but thanks for bringing extra light to it. I'm happy you could do that for me.
Well, we've just tipped a couple of our picks here. Obviously, Schwartz is going to take the Jags, and I'm going to take the Eagles in the wild card round. There you go. Let's jump into it, and we'll start back to front Monday Night Football. I don't know how I feel about this spiritually. I don't like a game of huge consequence being shoved into Monday Night Football, then a short week for whoever wins it. Then again, as somebody who is rooting for one of the two teams playing on Monday, I think this is kind of ideal from a viewing standpoint. If your team plays the first game of the weekend and loses, now you feel like you got a gut punch. I always think back in 1992 as a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, when Francisco Cabrera and Sid Bream happened to the Buccos and the Braves went to the World Series. I missed almost the entire great 1992 World Series against the Minnesota Twins. I tuned in late to Game 6 and watched Game 7 because I was too sick in my balls still that the Buccos had lost in such heartbreaking fashion. If your team loses the first game of Wild Card Weekend, you feel like that you're so sick you have to find something else to do with yourself. Now I can watch all the games in front of it and anticipate, what if my team survives this weekend and makes it to the divisional round? You hear what I'm saying?
I understand that, but I think in this situation you don't have to wait for a win. So you're in a good situation here for Pittsburgh where you get to just are you as a Steelers fan, are you excited you won that game? Like, I'm not sure you happy beat the Ravens, but now Tomlin's there for probably 4 more years. Like, you get 4 more years of Mike Tomlin now because you won that game, where the other coach got fired. He might have been fired anyways, but the loser of that game got fired. Now Mike Tomlin's around for a long time. I was looking at that. TJ Watt has never won a playoff game. That kind of feels shocking to me. Like, it's been so long. I don't know, the Steelers voodoo, it happened against the Ravens. It could happen here, I think. It wouldn't shock me if Pittsburgh won, but I just think Houston, their pass rush and their defense, even with Metcalf back, isn't gonna really help Pittsburgh very much in this game.
Well, to answer your question, yes, I'm happy that the Steelers won that game, because in the moment you can't. I always used to say, we had this conversation, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago. People used to ask me, what if Indiana and Pitt played each other in the Final Four in basketball or now in football? Which way would you go? And I said, well, that's not something I can tell you intellectually. I'll have to be in the moment and feel. My heart and my gut will guide where I come down on this sort of thing.
It would be Indiana, by the way.
You know what? I think it would have been. I think I'd be rooting for Pitt.
No, I'll tell you why. I grew up a UCLA fan, same as you grew up a Pitt fan, right? Like that's my parents went to UCLA. Both of them went to UCLA. I thought in basketball I would root for UCLA instead of Oregon in big games, and you don't. I remember in 2007, UCLA came to Matt Court. They were ranked. Maybe even won in that game. And Oregon was in town. Oregon was in town. UCLA was in town playing Oregon. My dad came up for the game. I was having back surgery too. So we were both there and we went to the game, dude. And it was the most fun. And I thought I'd go in there. Like, maybe I root for no, you don't. You root for your school. You absolutely do. So I think you would root for Indiana.
my particular childhood was spent at Pitt Stadium and Fitzgerald Fieldhouse.
So was mine.
I
went to every UCLA home game from the time I was 5 to the time I graduated and went to Oregon.
All I can tell you is I was way more nervous with, at the end of the first half in the Ravens game, way more nervous with 7.5 left in the game, way more nervous with 55 seconds left, and so on than I've ever been during this Indiana Hoosiers run. And yes, I was prisoner of the moment. All my larger concerns, long-term concerns were washed away for then, and I think that they will return if the Steelers lose this game. All the talk about Mike Tomlin is now safely back for the next 4 or 5 years, I don't necessarily think that's the case. Let's see what happens. If they lose a home playoff game, they're right back, and Mike Tomlin is right back with all the concerns that existed in front of that Ravens game. And so he may well wind up not fired like John Harbaugh, but may take himself out of the mix, however you want to couch it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way it turns out. Now, matter at hand. Houston Texans, Pittsburgh Steelers, home team at the time of this recording, catching 3 points. Total is 39.5. Whenever I think of the Texans and the Steelers, I'm reminded of the 2002 game, the first in Houston history. Their quarterback, rookie David Carr, goes 3 of 10. Oh, this is the whole game, you understand. I'm not talking about one quarter or one drive. David Carr goes 3 for 10 for 33 yards, whereas his counterpart, Tommy Maddox, in the weirdest Steeler season until this season, Tommy Maddox throws for 326 yards. Pitt runs for 128 yards. The Texans had 37 rushing yards on 26 attempts. The Steelers win the time of possession 2-1. Final score, Texans 24-6. It's the most impossible box score you've ever seen in your life. Anyway, rear view mirror stuff. Said several times over the last 3 months, Jags were going to win the division based on how the schedule set up, and they are playing very well. But the Texans were and are shaping up as the AFC's best overall team. Their defense is mighty. Rodgers is night and day based on the pass rush that he is facing. You saw that Browns into Ravens. Nevertheless, I like the vibe. I like the vibe going there, and I'm a prisoner of the moment, like I already said. Provincial Dave says Pittsburgh Steelers 20-18. Take that, Schwartz.
I'll tell you this though, the Steelers voodoo, man, alive and well. That Watt interception, they're like, there we go, there it is, right there, pushing the kick to the right at the very end for no reason. Steelers voodoo, that stadium, home underdog, man, like that's right where Pittsburgh wants to be. I do worry about the Houston offensive line. It's not their strong suit, but Pittsburgh is interesting. Pittsburgh doesn't pressure the passer a ton, but when they do, they turn it into sacks. Like it's either like a feast or famine type situation for them. So can they basically get after Stroud, right? I just don't know how you're going to score very much. I think it's a tough time to get in the end zone for Pittsburgh in this game. How many points do you need to win? Do you need 17, 20? You think you need 20 points to win? You probably need help on defense to get there. Give your offense some short fields. But to me, you never count out Pittsburgh as a home underdog in any situation. So last game of the weekend, it's not like Houston has a long track record of this team winning big road playoff games either.
Well, the other thing is, too, I feel like even though they're the road team and all the rest of it, C.J. Stroud is the one who comes in with some pressure on his shoulders. He's got the curse of Sposta, and I know Aaron Rodgers does and Mike Tomlin does, but, man, I've been critical, I've been skeptical all through the season. I don't think I've kept it a secret that the idea that a 42-year-old man is going to be a positive difference maker and carry the load for you, for all the pressure. I mean, his literal career may well have been on the line. If they lose that game, the Steelers, I don't think Aaron Rodgers comes back to Pittsburgh. Maybe somebody else grabs him for one more year, but I don't think his future would have been in black and gold. And they're down, and for him to play, to deliver a nails performance like that was I thought pretty impressive stuff. With Adam Thielen and MVS as his targets, keep in mind too. Now he gets DK Metcalf. I know it's some of it is trying to be optimistic. I already said the Texans have the best defense at minimum, maybe the best team in the AFC. In the here and now, though, I'm going to ride with Tomlin and Rodgers for 1 week, and let's see what happens on the other side of it. Meantime, Chargers, Patriots. For these two teams in the playoffs, my mind goes to 2007 title game. The Chargers went up there. Phil Rivers had the torn ACL. LaDainian, I don't remember what his issue was. I think it was his knee. He gave it one series and couldn't go. Phil Rivers played the whole game. They still almost kind of sort of pulled that game out. Again, rear view mirror stuff. Chargers' liability is on the O-line, but the Pats ain't world beaters at rushing the passer. Patriots laying 3.5, total 46.5. Schwartz, how say you?
I have the Chargers to cover this game. I can't buy the Patriots with their schedule, man. They played 3 teams with a winning record, at least 500. They were 1-2. They scored less points and gave up more points. Chargers definitely have some issues on their offensive line, but they're mostly on the edges, right? And that's not what the Patriots do on defense. Their best stuff is in the middle of that defense. The Chargers defense is number 1 in the NFL against pass rating against. Actually, they've done a great job this season. They pressure the heck out of the quarterback. Herbert, we talk all season, he leads the NFL in pressures. Second is Drake May. Drake May's been pressured a ton now. The difference is Drake May is doing incredibly well, like off the charts well against pressure, which I don't know if that really translates over to the postseason very well. So I look at the Chargers to control the physicality of this game, the tempo of this game. I think they cover this game. Do they win? I wouldn't be surprised, but I do like them plus the 3.5 to cover this game.
The Vrabel v. Harbaugh element of it is intriguing stuff as well. No stranger on either side to big time games. Do you think on a human level, this may sound like a dumb question because maybe it is a dumb question, is Jim Harbaugh, probably as a human being, spent some time with his brother on the phone this week, right? Is he at all distracted? Does that have any impact? Like, I've been trying to help talk my brother through a tough time, and I haven't really been able to focus on film as much. No, I assume the answer is no.
I actually think like maybe he just I think the answer is like no. Like I would say no, they have not talked.
Oh, they haven't even connected. He's like, I'm focused on my own stuff.
I think he probably texted him and was like, hey, I'm out of here. And maybe they talk like he's driving home at night. He called him. But I don't think he took any time away from his preparation.
Okay, just I'm an empath. I don't know how other people are wired. I have the Patriots 24-23, so obviously I'm trying to have it both ways there. Another quick question for you. I've been riding with these sophomore QBs this year, and as far as that goes, Drake May, Bo Nix, Caleb, Jaden, plus Penix and McCarthy. I mean, if one of these guys gets to the Super Bowl and wins it, are we already at a point where the 2024 QB class is in the conversation for best ever? I mean, that's a pretty loaded half dozen names I just threw at you.
We would have to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, the short answer is yes.
It would be like the 83 year, right? Like that would be.
And Jaden Daniels just about went to the Super Bowl a year ago. So add that to the pile as well.
I think you have to think that, yes.
Niners, Eagles, home team, laying 4.5, 44.5 is your total at the time of this recording. Niners couldn't stop Seattle from running and couldn't start running on the Seattle defense last week. I don't really see why either of those things is going to change much against this Eagles team. Geoff Schwartz, how say you?
Yeah, this is sort of strength versus strength and weakness versus weakness, right? Where you have a situation where you have the Niners offense versus the Eagles defense, right? Those are the two strengths of those teams. The Niners defense against the Eagles offense, those are sort of the weaknesses of both teams. But the question is, like, the Eagles get Lane Johnson back, presumably.
That's right.
What's going to stop? Who's stopping who in the Niners are stopping the Eagles? Even though the Eagles offense has not been great, Dave, I just don't really think that the Niners have the pieces in place. They can't rush the passer, have no linebackers. Like, that's not a recipe for any success in the NFL. And so I just do not believe that the Niners have enough in this game. They're great stories. Shannon's done a great job, but they just don't have enough in this game, in my opinion, to make this a close game, even as bad as we agree Eagles offense has been this season, I'm not sure they can take advantage of it. It's unfortunate because the Niners are a good football team, but it's to me just not. There's not enough in this game for them.
Well, I mean, again, the Eagles are my Super Bowl pick, or the NFC representative. The big factor here is their Jenga pieces are back. Jalen Carter on the defense, they are a very different defense when he's there in the middle. And on offense, like you say, Lane Johnson appears to be coming back too. He's their offensive Jenga piece, and the offense is very different. I suspect that Saquon Barkley has a day here against the diminished Niners defense.
I think he has to have a day. Like like that has to be something he's got to have a good day for the Eagles to be the team they want.
27-24 Eagles advance in my book. There you go. The Buffalo Bills, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the home team, the Jags are catching a point and a half. 45.5 is the total. This is, I think, from what I'm able to glean from social media and conversations with the Fuentes boys and beyond, this is the toughest call of the weekend for most football enthusiasts. How say you?
Not for me, it's not. I think Jacksonville's going to win this game. Buffalo's the most pressure of any team in the postseason, right?
Yes.
No Mahomes, no Lamar, no Joe Burrow. The three guys that have tortured Buffalo over the years. They've played worse on the road in the playoffs. Their defense in all their losses just completely combust. I think Jacksonville's ability to run the football in this game and commit to running the football is a huge benefit to them. Buffalo has to make more plays to win the game than Jacksonville does, right? Like Josh Allen has to have heroic Josh Allen stuff. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think has to do that in this game. Run the ball, take what's there. Jacksonville Jaguars defense, number one in the NFL against the rush, playing Buffalo's offense. We talk about Josh Allen this year. It's kind of interesting how, like, he's got nobody, Dave. Number one rushing offense in the NFL. What do you mean nobody? I mean, he's a great wide receiver, sure, but he has the number one rushing offense in the NFL. It's something. And I just think Jacksonville's a better team. I love what Liam Cohen has done this season. And again, the improvement for Trevor Lawrence to just becoming, he's not completing a ton of passes, certainly a problem, but he's turned the ball over less, doing like all those plays were like, what are you doing, dude? He hasn't had those in 6 weeks. So I feel like if you can avoid that in a playoff game, they're going to win this game.
When you see what Liam Cohen has done in one season with Trevor Lawrence and Ben Johnson has done in one season with Caleb Williams and so on and so forth, it's remarkable to me that the first thing you hear as soon as John Harbaugh gets fired, literally 28 seconds later, like, oh, a half dozen other teams want him desperately. Why do you want the retread? Don't you? What would the Steelers do if they fired Mike Tomlin? Go and get one of those clever OCs out there. They're obviously the straws that stir the drink at this point, clearly.
Well, I think here's the issue, Dave, is that this year there's not a great group of those coaches. And so you're looking at teams hiring retreads. But also, a lot of the teams that are hiring have signaled, like the Giants have signaled they want a former head coach. So it's that they've signaled, they've made those signals, they put those out there. We want a former head coach. So I think that is why people have connected Harbaugh to that job. Now I wonder if that's connected to the Dolphins as well. There's a familiarity with John Harbaugh that ownership will like, instead of chasing the young guy like we know we get with Harbaugh. I'm very fascinated to see where this goes because Lamar is incredible, but he has not had the playoff success that you wanted. There's another coach bring that out of Lamar. So, 8 jobs open. There's not 8 great coaches this year. Last year was a good coaching pool. This one right now really isn't.
I hear you, but the thing that's funny about this particular retread head coach, John Harbaugh, I don't understand the comps to Andy Reid. I get the notion of like, maybe things run their course and
Andy Reid
start fresh.
Went to 5 NFC Championship games.
Andy Reid is also an X and O guy by definition. He's a QB whisperer. John Harbaugh is sort of like a foreman on the work site. He does a good job of managing all the different elements of the game, but he's not I don't think he's a difference maker, and I think he's going to find a very different reality from the stable Baltimore organization if he goes to play a place like, say, Cleveland. I don't think that's going to work out for either side of things if that winds up happening. Either way, curse is supposed to. is on the road team, as you say, for this game in Duval County. The Bills have to win it. I think McDermott is coaching for his future. I wouldn't be surprised. You talk about experienced head coach. Maybe he winds up with the Giants by autumn of 2026 if they don't win this one. I don't think Allen's going to drag him to the Super Bowl. Jags have the better team. And in fact, their quarterback is playing better than the reigning MVP. All that being said, I'm taking the Bills on the road here. I just got a hunch about the history of Josh Allen. I think he gets to the divisional round. We'll see what happens after that. And logic or illogic, we move on to the Packers and the Bears. We've talked about trying to beat the same team 3 times in a season. The Bears are the home team. They're plus 1.5. 45.5 is the total. Geoff Schwartz, choose.
Well, they split the season series, right? The Packers won the first game. Remember, Caleb?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. I also look. So
that's
on the rematch thing, quickly, people love to throw like, the losing team. It's easier for them. If a team wins twice in the regular season, they're probably better. That's how I look at it. I never understood this. A team wins twice. It doesn't apply here, of course, but give me the Packers, dude. It's a full fate of the Bears. 33 takeaways this season. When they have 2 or more takeaways, they're 9-0. When they have 1 or fewer, they're 2-6. For the top 6 teams who have led the league in turnovers, right? Or excuse me, takeaways essentially, and allowed the most points. So those 2 things, right? 5 of the 6 never made the playoffs. The Bears are in that 6 that made their defense not good. I don't really expect it to turn up a notch in the postseason. Now the Packers, no pass rush, which has been alarming. Quarterbacks are a little beat up. I know they'll be back this week. I just like the Packers in this game. I'm just fading the Bears.
That's sort of, I'm not applying any specific logic beyond Jordan Love has been there. He's got something to prove here. He's coming back. What I don't get is I'm taking the Pack 30-28 here. I don't understand about the LaFleur is going to get fired talk. Do you see what he did with Jordan Love? Did you see what he's done with Malik Willis? What are we talking about, everybody?
I don't buy it either.
Very weird. I don't get that one. Okay, Rams, Carolina. We know Schwartz has taken the Rams because he has them going all the way to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
10.5. If memory serves, that was the exact number that the Panthers caught at home the last time these 2 teams played. This time the total is 46.5. How say you on this one, Schwartz, in terms of against the spread?
10.5 points is a lot, Dave.
Yeah,
it's a lot of points.
Yes, it is.
In the NFL in the postseason. I'm staying away from this one because I think it's one of those things where if the good Panthers show up, it's a game. The bad Panthers show up, they lose by 17. I just don't know which version is showing up. I know what I'm getting from the Rams. I think this is closer to a Rams cover than not. I would just stay away from it.
No team that survived the regular season has to be sicker than the Rams. They could have, maybe should have been the 1 seed if not for the last 8 minutes or whatever up in Seattle.
In Philly. They're 26-7 in Philly and lost, remember?
That's week 3. I mean, that's ancient history. But yes, you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. It is wild. 10.5 against the team they lost to in that exact same stadium about 6 or 8 weeks or so ago. It's loco, but I'm going with the Rams to win outright. 26-18. That's just too big a number for a playoff game. I mean, I don't like a double-digit favorite in the regular season. I definitely don't like it in the postseason, but I think you're ultimately right. It's a stay-away game. And last thing before we let you go, we appreciate you jumping in to help us out last second. And like I say, a lot of people listening will already know the results of the 2 college football Final Four games, but let's hear your picks here and see how close we can get. In fact, if you'd like, let's pretend like we've already seen them too. Let's talk in. Let's do it as though it's already settled, and we'll start with Oregon. IU, the Hoosiers, -3.5, 47.5 is the total. Geoff Schwartz wearing Ducks gear.
I mean, if we're talking about like it's already done, I'll see the crew in Miami in a couple of weeks to watch Oregon play Miami in a national championship game while I watch Mario Cristobal, Dan Lanning in a That would be a very toxic internet game, by the way, between Miami fans, Oregon fans. Look, I think Miami wins, by the way, so we're not going to spend time on that. Let's talk about our game here.
What a stupid, this tournament is undermined. I know I said this earlier in the week, but I didn't say it to you, Schwartz. Well, we texted about it on the side. They're like, this is the greatest. This tournament is so great, so intense. The Ole Miss coaches may not show up for it. What are we talking about? It ain't that intense.
And also, too, like...
you better win the U. You're playing the other team doesn't even have coaches.
The funny part, too, like, Indiana's already secured their roster for next season in the same week as they're playing a semifinal game. And Oregon lost, like, their entire secondary and running back room to the portal. So, like, that's awesome. Look, I think in this game... I feel like I know I'm getting from Indiana. I feel like I know what that team is right now. Oregon's got to play better in offense, and it's a lot of self-inflicted mistakes. And I went back and watched the first Oregon-Indiana game. It's like we drop a pass on 2nd and 7 that would have got us inside the 10-yard line. I mean, that we go 14-10. Like that's a big difference in the game, right? Instead, I think we kicked a field goal on that drive. Dante Moore just not throwing the ball when he's supposed to. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff in that game that kind of frustrated me. You make the case Indiana didn't play their best game offensively. That's certainly fair. They threw a pick 6 and whatnot. They only 340 yards. If we go up 340 yards again, I'll take it, Dave. I'll be like, sweet, that's awesome. So that's my biggest question is like, what do we get from the Oregon offense? Do we get a kind of sloppy, consistent performance we've had against better teams, or if they play their best game of the season? We probably win, but they haven't done that against better teams. Haven't done it against Iowa, didn't do it against Penn State, didn't do it against Indiana the first time, and didn't do it against Texas Tech. So for the 5th time, we need to have like the best offense we've had all season. Can we do it? Absolutely. The sim pressure stuff. I mean, Indiana ate us alive on sim pressures. The case against Indiana is not even almost like a football thing per se. It's like, is Indiana going 16-0? Like, is a team going 16-0 this season? Like, is that really going to happen? Are they going to win every single high leverage moment the entire season, right? Like those are not like non-football things per se that have to go Oregon's way, I think, for them to win this game. Because Indiana is so efficient at what they do, and it's just hard to beat a team like that. They make no mistakes. They don't turn the ball over, don't have penalties, don't do dumb stuff, don't blow coverages, don't have offensive line issues. So it's a very tough team to play, Dave. I think if everything goes the way I said it can go for Oregon. Yeah, Oregon can win the game. If they don't play on clean offense, we're not going to win.
Well, a lot of good defenses are showing up, or at least 3 good defenses are showing up for this Final Four. I'll ride with the Hoosiers. I'm rooting for you, except I have many dozens of people I'm rooting for on the IU side.
You don't have to root for me. I don't root for you.
I'd like you to be happy. I'd like you to be happy. That's all.
I hope you lose.
All right, screw. I hope you lose too.
Good. You should hope I lose.
Last thing is before you go. This is not something a stable, sober NFL franchise would do. The Ravens are not going to hire Kurt Signetti. But if you're the Raiders.
The Raiders, yes.
This would be, I think to me, like this is crazy kind of thinking and all of that. But in this case, this is a perfect Mark Davis kind of thing to do, but I think this one would actually have a chance of working out. Sig isn't going to be afraid. He's like, wow, they're a dumpster fire, the Raiders. Like, do you see what he did in Indiana? They have no history. He turned them around right quick. And Fernando, to me, does present, as in the right situation, a legit NFL star QB, a high-end quarterback, top 10, top dozen quarterback. With his college coach, I think, again, I know it's not something that teams that have an eye towards the long term, and we hope this guy's going to be around a dozen years from now kind of thing in what you're looking for in a head coach. I don't think that's the Raiders' approach to things, and I think it would work if they did it. I just don't know if they'll actually follow through. How say you?
I think I saw a report that Sig is getting like 12.5 now, the reduced contract, or he's up for a bonus of some sort. I mean, the Raiders will pay him like 20. I mean, if money is... I think at this point, Signetti doesn't feel like he wants the NFL as an end game. Like there are younger college coaches that have always looked toward the NFL as an end game. I mean, Dan Lanning's talked about it. Like at some point in his career, he wants to go to the NFL. Chip Kelly went to the NFL. Spurrier went to, I mean, we've had younger coaches make that jump. I don't think Signetti at his age is like, I want to go be an NFL coach. It didn't feel that way to me. And why leave now? You get the support from Mark Cuban. You get the support from the administration. They're all in. You're getting the players you want out of the portal. Like, this is not the time to leave, in my opinion. Now, Sharkle Iron's hot. I get it.
That's my thinking is you could convince yourself we ain't ever repeating what we've just done magic season. We may as well leave while the getting's good.
It's probably unlikely Indiana's back here next season. It's unlikely Ole Miss is back here. Miami loses a ton. That's one thing about Oregon. Oregon, we're not going to lose a lot. We're going to have a lot of guys come back. Like, I feel a little comfortable in saying I think we'll be back next season in the same spot. But you still want to win, of course. I'd rather win now than never win. But I think Indiana, Cignetti, like, you look at it as like, this is our year to do this. Now, next year, you bring in Hoover, all that stuff, but it might not work out quite as well next year.
Sure.
Last thing here. We have seen 2023 Michigan, 2024 Ohio State, and now 2025 Indiana. They're old as shit, man. Like, they are super old. Indiana has, out of 11 starters in offense, 1 is younger than 4 years in college football. I think defense is 3 guys that are 3 years, and the rest are all 4, 5, 6 year guys. Michigan was old. Ohio State was old. Oregon's trying this next year. We might have 4-year defensive linemen. Like, we're trying to do that. That's now, I think, the model in the sport is to be old, experienced, and have a lot of football wisdom and grown men, like grown bodies.
That's right.
To play this game. Because now you have a longer season too, right? So the more mature body can probably handle the long season than can younger guys. So it's interesting to see Indiana follow that model. I'm not sure they did on purpose, Dave, but they're in line with the last 2 champions as far as the youth or lack thereof of their program.
I hear you, and they did, bottom line is load up real good, so the bridge in the next season is strong enough that I think that would be a deterrent for Coach Sig to walk away from that, because it's not just a QB. They did really add some nice pieces there for next season. Anyway, listen, in the here and now, bad luck to your team. I hope they lose.
Good.
I wish
hope you lose too.
I wish them nothing but the worst out there
on
the field, and really appreciate you jumping in, and hopefully we'll talk on the other side of it in the next few days. Geoff Schwartz is smarter than you. Make sure you're checking it out, everybody. There he goes, Geoff Schwartz. I was just trying to be a gentleman. I'm not actually wishing the Ducks any luck whatsoever.
And
bad luck. Why I'm wishing them bad luck. That's all.
Yes. You wish your opponent bad luck.
That's right. And I wish the U good luck, bad luck. I don't know. I hope to see you in Miami a week from Monday. For Fernando invading or returning the prodigal son to play the U and having all of his hometown pals root against him. I don't know.
As a Hoosier fan, do you prefer Ole Miss in the championship?
I guess, but as a college football fan, I think it's lousy if Ole Miss, with its assistant coaches on the fence about whether even they should show up and follow Lane to LSU sooner rather than later, is a bad look for the sport. Yeah. So I think the U versus, like I say, Fernando, the local Cuban hero, that's great storylines. I think that would be good. So I think, as objective as I can be about it, that's what I'm rooting for.
The all Columbus final?
It's all a dream. Yeah. It's all a dream. It's all a dream what's going on. Very quickly, you heard our picks there. Mike Fuentes, which game are you most confident in who's going to win it? I assume Rams?
Okay, excluding Rams, Panthers, because I think that's an easy one for all of us.
Good place to start. Let's get them out of the way.
Get that out of here.
Child's play.
The game that I'd hate to say it because I really like the 49ers, but I just don't see them.
I'm looking at too.
I just don't see them overcoming that in Philly. I know the Eagles' offense has been but the way that the 49ers looked against the Seahawks, the way they're able to shut down, like not be able to stop Kenneth Walker or Charbonnet, and the way the defense looked, I just don't see them advancing. That's tough. So if I had to pick an absolute lock, I'm with Jeff too on the Steelers voodoo. They just find a way to keep every game close, and I don't trust CJ Stroud. So out of all those, I'm going to say the one that I'd be the most confident putting my money on is Eagles to take care of the 49ers. How
about least confident, Gino?
The least confident in all these, I mean, this Bills-Jacksonville game is going to be so fun to watch. I mean, I think the Jaguars are going to win, but
tough to pick a winner.
It could easily be Josh Allen.
All right. Part of the fun this weekend and going forward is playing the Pick Six presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Here are half dozen names. As if you are new to the way we approach this, I'm a simple-minded person. I just try to pick touchdown scores. I don't try to focus on the yards, but those are available to you as well. At DraftKings, I'm going to start with players who are going to score more than half a touchdown. And I bring this up because it's impossible to score half a touchdown, so they'll score at least a full touchdown. I'm going with Kyren Williams, Puka Nacua. You can tell I'm on the Rams based on that. Saquon, like I say, should have a day against the Niners. You saw how they handled or didn't handle the Seahawks running backs. Saquon is superior. I think he finds the end zone. James Cook has been a touchdown maker all season long. That will continue. And then in the throwing department, 2 touchdown passes or more, Matthew Stafford, Drake May, how say you Mike Fuentes or Gino Fuentes? Any swap outs?
So I love Puka as a receiver. I just don't feel like he catches a lot of touchdowns. He'll probably catch even less with Devontae Adams back. So that's probably the one I'm looking at. I also really don't love Drake May for 2 touchdowns because the Chargers secondary, pretty good. So here's the thing about who I'd pick. I take Josh Allen to score anytime touchdown. That means he's going to rush one in. Josh Allen's best statistical games, he's throwing a touchdown and rushing a touchdown, and those are usually the games that he really has to battle in. He's going to have to battle in this Jags game. So I'm going to say that Josh Allen gets a rushing touchdown against the Jags.
And you're taking the Jags to win the game.
I am.
All right. You're a man of many flavors, Mike Fuentes. Gino, any swap outs for you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like you got Stafford here for 2 touchdowns. To get to 2 touchdowns, he's going to need Devontae Adams. So I'm going to put Devontae Adams in, and that's probably going to cost Kyren Williams his touchdown.
All right, there you go. Follow us or come up with your own half dozen names. The important thing is to play the Pick Six with DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. And now we've told you what we think is going to happen in the wild card rounds. Now it's on you to enjoy the wild card rounds. Unless your team is in it, you're going to be nervous as balls all weekend long. I know I'm going to be. Try and enjoy it a little bit. These are the good times, everybody. We'll be back on the other side of most of the wild card round and round 2 of the college football playoff to get you right for Monday night and beyond, the divisional round and the rest of it. Until then, for everybody on Football America, thanks so much, my fellow football Americans. It's been a thin slice of heaven.